Welcome to Radio Leven 372, a podcast created and broadcast from Dumbarton, the gateway to the Scottish Highlands. You'll hear inane chatter from me, Alan, and my wife, Mrs Rowan, as we discuss whatever comes into our heads, and all from the hallowed halls of the Dumbuckety Scourie, Dumbarton's premier pub shed. If you like what you hear, then we'd love to hear from you. Surf to anchor.fm/Radio Leven and leave a message. Thanks for listening.
Get ready, here we go, live. Welcome to this podcast.
So it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening and welcome. Welcome back to Radio Leven 372. My name is Alan, this is episode number 9 and we are coming to the end of our first season here, broadcasting on Radio Leven 372. We're going to have a wee chat about travel, a couple of trips to London and New York, but first I have to say goodbye to my co-host. Well, I'll see her later on actually, but Mrs Rowan, how are you feeling?
Oh, feeling quite sad. It's come to an end, season 1. It's been good fun, had some good laugh and bants over the way. But looking forward to having a little break and then getting set up for season 2.
Sounds ideal. Well, here we go. We'll hand over to you now because the first trip is all about you. Here we are.
Yeah, one of my favourite cities to go in the UK is London.
Yes, I enjoyed
remember
London.
We had that really good trip. We got the train down.
Yep, that was good. I'd recommend that.
We stayed at a hotel right next to Euston train station, which was ideal. And the boys had bought us afternoon tea at the Ritz.
Yes, I remember that.
Which was fantastic. It was in the early evening. I think it was the 6 o'clock sitting.
Yes, it was early.
So we got all dolled up, and the toilets in there were amazing.
I know, there was a wee guy in the toilet and everything when you went in, offering you,
to shine your shoes.
Yeah, well, he was offering a lot more than shining your shoes, I have to tell you. But very impressive though. That's how the rich people do it.
I know. But it was fantastic. But one thing that there was a family with children. And the children looked maybe about 6 or 7.
Yes, that's right.
And they sat there so well. They were so well behaved.
Yeah.
Their posh sandwiches. And
well, the posh. See, the thing is, I had a thing in my head. You obviously have these kind of fixed notions, but the sandwiches were outstanding, weren't they?
They were fantastic.
Even taking the crusts off. They were really, really good. And then you got this illusion whereby that they were actually giving you more, because they came along at the end of it and said, do you want some more sandwiches? And of course everybody will. Yeah, we're from Scotland, so we're going to wire in, aren't we?
Yeah.
But
and then lovely scone and some cakes and as much tea as you could drink.
Yeah, it was a really good experience. How the other people live, because before we actually went in to have the tea and all the afternoon tea at 6 o'clock. We went to the bar. Do you remember?
Yes.
And
we got a cocktail.
We did, yeah, but it felt as if you were entering a doctor's surgery, though.
Do you think so?
Well, aye, because the way that they were looking at you.
They had white gloves on.
Aye, and can you afford to come in here, type thing. Well,
listen, I had my good red coat on and my dress.
Yeah, I know.
I was all dolled up tonight, and you had a suit on.
And I'm looking at the prices. Could I have a water?
No, but we'd already been kind of fleeced the day before. We went to Harrods.
Oh no! Well, yeah, I don't think we get fleeced. I thought it was a great experience. Spend a day in there.
Yeah, but they had an ice cream parlour, so we decided to get 2 ice cream sundaes, and they were fabulous, quite big, and but £50 for 2.
50 quid for 2. I remember that.
But when you're on holiday, you don't care.
We didn't care.
Oh, and it was a great experience.
Yeah, Harrods. I enjoyed Harrods. As I said, you could spend a day in it. It's like a theme park.
Yeah.
The toy department with the big, huge cars for kids.
That's right.
£50,000 for a mini replica and all that good stuff.
You can buy a real one.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed London, and of course we went to London for one specific reason.
Oh, to see your favourite show.
Yeah, and we had the best seats in the house, I thought. And
but that was courtesy of Anne-Marie and Gregor Porterfield.
Yeah.
They had given us a gift voucher for, was it the Queen's Theatre?
Yeah.
For our wedding present.
Now called the Sondheim.
Oh, has that changed names? Yeah. And I looked on and we managed to get tickets for Alan's favourite show.
Well, there's only one show at Queen's Theatre, Sondheim.
Alright, so it's Les Mis.
Les Miserables.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And we were in the first circle. Right at the front, centre seat. We couldn't have asked for better seats. It was fantastic.
Absolutely. The best, probably the best musical in the world ever. We've seen it in the 2 iconic venues, which is Queen's Theatre in
And
London. Of course, we saw it on Broadway in New York with Ramin Karimloo playing Jean Valjean.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we saw it in Edinburgh.
We saw it in Edinburgh with the new touring version, which
Remember
was
you were
very,
talking
very good.
to
We were talking to the bishop.
the bishop, yeah,
Correct.
because came to talk to
He was in the
his friend who
he was in
happened to be
the
sitting next to us.
he was in the foyer when the pre-show, and he only looked about 70.
Yeah.
This is
Radio Leven 372.
So New York, yeah, what a holiday that was. Love New York. That I can honestly say that going to New York fulfilled every expectation that I had about the city. Albeit everywhere you walk, you have to look up all the time.
Yeah, well, when we first arrived, I thought, when Alan was booking it, I said, I can't stay 50 floors up in a hotel. You need to find me somewhere that's on ground level, because I don't like heights. So we found this beautiful boutique hotel that only had 9 floors, and it had a wonderful rooftop bar.
Yeah, it was outstanding.
Fantastic. But when I arrived, I kept looking up and thought, I could never live here, I could never work here, I don't like it. But after a day, you kind of forget about the heights until we went to the Empire State.
The Empire State Building, yeah. Well, we were proper tourists when we were in New York. We did everything that you're supposed to do as a tourist. We saw everything that we wanted to see. If I ever get the opportunity to go back, I would certainly do things a wee bit differently and see the other parts of the city which we didn't see, which were non-touristy. Central Park, we did all of that. But the Empire State Building is a story and a half. So there we are, walking down the street, 5th Avenue actually, to get to the Empire State Building. And how do we get in? What do we do? We were suddenly accosted by a big fella in a uniform. He clearly could read minds because he knew what we were wanting to do. And anyway, long story short there, he said, look, I can get you fast access to the Empire State Building. Now remember, we're standing in the middle of New York here, scorchio hot in September. This big fella, it could have been anybody, but we were actually, starry-eyed.
Well, I did say to him, I said, is the lift contained and it's not on the outside
Yeah,
of the
but before we
building?
get to that part though, the fact is this guy could have been absolutely anybody,
Yeah.
and here we are flashing a credit card
Well,
to
he
him.
had a uniform on and he had
Yeah, but,
his
They all had uniforms
man
on
bag
though.
on. Yeah, I suppose so.
Anyway, so $150 later.
And the man assured me it was a contained lift.
Right, well, what he said to us was you can get to the top of the building really, really quickly by, if you pay this extra, you get this special lift and up you go.
So we went and got ushered into this lift, and without a word of a lie, it was like little cinema seats
It was like shows.
with no walls. And I said to Alan, I can't go up there. And he said, I paid $150, you're going up there. I said, I can't, and I burst out crying. So I said to Alan, you just go up yourself. And he said, no, I'm not going up. So the man had no patience for us.
No.
He ushers us out, and before we knew it, we were in another lift and up at the top.
Yeah, it was just a proper lift this time.
Yeah, just a normal lift.
Yeah.
So we could have saved us a few bucks by
probably-
going up in a normal lift
Yeah.
instead of a cinema seat.
Yeah, it was quite a frightening
Yeah.
experience. But
But once I'm up at the top, it's the getting up that I don't like. But once I'm up, I can look about, take photos, whereas Alan's hanging on for grim death for his life.
it was funny though. But the views over New York are
Oh,
outstanding.
fantastic.
And of course, if you remember the wee commissioner, the guy that looked like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, that's right.
And
yeah.
he was telling us his life story. You guys from Scotland?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no,
But
we're
your
Irish.
favourite time was when we were sitting in Chinatown
Yes.
and we met
Wait,
locals.
well, not so much locals. It was just after we were there in September, and we stopped off for an aperitif, as you do. We got a bottle of wine in a wee side street, and it was just off Chinatown. And there was 3 guys sitting in a table opposite us. Now they heard our accent, and they wanted to have a chat with us. And well, we're quite chatty, as you can imagine. So we had a wee chat with these guys, and it turned out that they were 3 veterans from New Jersey. And they were over in the city in Manhattan just to toast their friends who had died or were injured in 9/11 from 2001. And it turned out as well that the 3 of them were veterans of the military, and one of them was based in Scotland for one point. He was actually in the
Dunoon.
Holy Loch in Dunoon.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was a lovely conversation with 3 guys, and it was I'm not doing it justice because it's an outstanding memory of the time there. But as soon as the Americans hear the Scots accent, They seem to be all over you. But New York for me, would I recommend it? Absolutely. At the time that we went, I thought it was outstanding. It was a great holiday.
Remember, we walked over Brooklyn Bridge.
We walked over Brooklyn
halfway. There was a
halfway.
big snake on it.
Yeah, big snake.
God, I nearly ran.
We only got halfway over though.
Because the big snake stopped us going any further. It must have been about 30 feet long, and this man's dangling in front of me, and I tell him to leave me alone.
So New York, yep, we recommend you go there.
Yeah. And of course, you saw Les Mis.
We saw Les Mis there too again, as we did in London on Broadway. That was a really good time too.
With Kinky Boots as well.
And we saw Kinky Boots as well. We did the whole tourist
fantastic trip. And then of course we went on to a cruise after that.
We did. So there we go. End of an era. Season 1, it's all over. We'll see you very shortly, and come back soon and listen to us. See ya.
Yeah, see you all later. Have a great summer. Cheers.